Hi everyone, Donna here, and welcome back to the Bookkeeping Made Simple podcast, where we bring joy to your balance sheets. Anyway, have you ever gotten one of these? Is this where you hide all of your receipts, or do you use the geographical method? The old stuff's on the bottom and new stuff's on the top. Today, we're going to talk about expense tracking and different ways of accomplishing this. So this is a lot of actually what we do as bookkeepers, although there's more, is track expenses. And there's a lot of ways to do it. The number one way, by the way, that we are looking for is to find ways to save you money in your business. It seems to me like there's just so many people out there with their hands out, so many things that you need to be doing to track things and make sure that your business is running well. And it's important to make sure that you are spending money where it needs to be spent, but not where it doesn't. So we're going to streamline expense tracking, and we're going to talk all about that today. And we're going to hopefully make it at least a little bit funny, because let's be honest, expense tracking and finances are not the most exciting topics in the world, but they're critical. It's critical. Look, here's the deal. Business is the art of doing math for money and getting paid for it. So let's talk about how to streamline your expense tracking. These days should be over. This is the 21st century. We don't need these for anything but, I don't know, shoes. I don't know why I picked the most broken box I had. I use these to hold shoes, not receipts. And that's really nice because I don't have to dig through this, or worse, a banker's box, looking for that one receipt that I needed to prove that I paid my parking ticket, or to prove that whatever it was that I bought, that I tried to claim on my taxes, was actually what I paid for on my taxes. So this is, I keep saying, it's the 21st century. Why are you keeping receipts? And why, by the way, are you keeping receipts? Oh, thermal paper. Thermal paper receipts are the bane of my existence. They go white or they go black. And either way, you can't read them. And lo and behold, heaven forfend you spill coffee on them, because then there is no way you're ever going to read them again. So some of you may be thinking, I don't know much about tech. I am not a tech guru. I don't know how to run the software, but that's okay. You don't have to do that. As I talked about last time, this is your best friend when it comes to expense tracking. At Bookkeeping Made Simple, we do things like we take all of your receipts and we put them into QuickBooks so that we can make beautiful reports for you, so you actually understand what's going on in your business. Let's be honest, a lot of people don't. They just look at what their bank account is doing, and they may not even understand whether they're in profit or what their cash flow looks like. They just look at their bank account. But we want to take you on better financial adventures than that. So one of the things that I suggest to a lot of my clients is take a picture of your receipt. Remember, last time we talked about going paperless. This is part of it. Take a picture of your receipt and click send, text it to us. We will take care of it. We're going to put it into some financial tracking software for you. And we're going to save a copy of the receipt, put it into the financial tracking software. And then over time, we're going to start having some information for you that's actually going to be useful for your business. These apps are efficient, they're smart, some of them can almost automatically categorize your expenses. And I say almost because they are far from perfect. This is where a lot of my clients get into trouble. They will go into QuickBooks Online, which is That is the software that most people use. That's the software that we use. And they will say, oh, well, QuickBooks is categorizing these things into certain expense categories, which may or may not be the right one. And they're just downloading all the transactions. What we do is we go in and make sure that those transactions actually match what should be happening in other parts of your business. Okay, it's kind of like solving that Rubik's Cube. You can spend that time that you were doing battling with QuickBooks, the time you were spending battling with QuickBooks, you can now spend it doing things that you actually like to do. Maybe even things that make you money. Maybe things like spending time with your family. Now, what about security? Number one concern, right? Well, look, everything on the cloud is secure. We use Intuit and Microsoft at Bookkeeping Made Simple, and we have very difficult passwords to remember. We have digital vaults for all of your financial information because nobody wants that out there. And we're very particular about that. So we are very careful to make sure that your information stays, I don't know, your information. Because there's nothing worse than getting an alert on your phone that your identity has been stolen, right? Or that bank account information, passwords are out there on the dark web somewhere. So we want to make sure your financial secrets are safe. We want to help you track your expenses quickly, accurately, and efficiently. And we also want to help you save money on expense tracking, on paperwork, and the hassle of trying to dig through this, looking for that one receipt. Also, you can't manage what you don't measure. So if you are going through and measuring, what did I spend on meals last month? What did I spend on fuel last month? What did I spend on energy costs? We usually know what our housing expenses are, but what about these little things that add up over time? Well, we want to know, how much did you spend? Because you can't decide if it's a good idea to cut back or if you want to spend more there if you don't know how much you spent to begin with. One of my favorite suggestions is actually Starbucks. My friends love Starbucks. I have a lot of friends that love Starbucks. And there's a lot going for Starbucks. It's really nice to go to a coffee shop and have a cup of coffee and have a long talk with a friend. And I have friends that will buy Starbucks every single day. Okay, well, let's say that they buy it 5 days a week. And let's say that the average cost, we'll use $5 for easy math. That's a cheap coffee at Starbucks. You spend $5 at Starbucks 5 days a week, that's $25 a week, that's $100 a month. Now, I did just get through reading a ridiculous thing on Facebook where they said the little things are not the important parts. Yes, they are. We want to use expense tracking software because we want to see where your money is going so we can make thoughtful, intelligent decisions. You may need that $500, $700 a month car payment just to be able to get to work or to be able to do the things that you just need to do. But maybe you don't need, Starbucks is an easy one to kind of pick on because so many people like it and because it's expensive coffee. I live in Utah. Our local, I guess most people in Utah don't drink a lot of coffee. So we have Swig and Fizz, where it's basically soda with some add-ins that are quite frankly disgusting in my opinion, but I like my Diet Coke just plain. And they're charging $5 a cup, $7 a cup, $10 a cup for this stuff. And people are buying them. And I'm baffled because I'm like, I like Diet Coke with lime, but I can buy a whole lime and a case of Diet Coke for less than what people are spending on just one drink. So you want to be thoughtful about where your money's going. But the first thing to do in order to save money is to determine where is your money going. Once you know where your money is going, then you can make informed decisions. Then maybe you can say, I don't really want to go to Swig. I could buy a can of pop and the add-on that I like for a lot less. Let's be honest, they're making money on this. So I can go to Starbucks for $5 for a cup of coffee, or I can buy a pound of coffee for $5 and make it at home, put it in a to-go cup that I have at home. But I go back to, you can't manage what you don't measure. So the very first thing what we want to do is we want to start measuring what you spend, where you spend it, what your spending habits are. Once you know what your habits are, then you can make adjustments. It's very much, by the way, like losing weight. I recently lost about 30 pounds. I'm about 20 pounds from my goal, and I'm so excited about it. But the first thing I had to know is, what am I eating that's moving me further from my goals? And what am I eating that's moving me closer to my goals? And what can I do to make those decisions? I decided to go with the diet plan where most things are packaged. You may decide to do something entirely different. That's fine. But when I started looking at the cost of the plan, I started looking at how much do I spend on groceries? Well, I like to eat out. So I started looking and saying, well, you know, for the cost of the food in the plan that I'm using, I could either spend it on their food and lose weight, or I could spend it on junk food and gain weight. And my goal is to be slender and healthy. So that was my goal. That was my decision. And I wanted to make sure that I understood where I was putting my money and whether it was saving me money, both in the short term and the long term, and if it was going to be costing me money. In this case, it was saving me a lot of money. I probably saved twice as much as the cost of the food for the diet. So now the other thing you can do with expense tracking apps is you can share that with your accountant. QuickBooks is fantastic for this. You can go in, you can share QuickBooks with your accountant. You can just take care of all of that. It's not a big deal. You can you don't have to chase down missing receipts. It's all going to be online. We're going to put everything on the cloud where it's easy to find, and hopefully you're naming your receipts intelligent things. Come up with a naming convention. And then it just makes it easier to track what you spend and then make decisions about, do I want to continue spending this way, or are there other places where I want to put my money? Everybody only has a finite pool of money. Everybody, including the government, but you can't tell them that. Everybody just has, even Elon Musk, his money is finite. He has a lot of it, but there's only so much. His pool of money is this big and mine is this big. So to speak, so in order, I have to be very careful with where I put my money because I don't have a nearly infinite store. Neither does Elon. His expenses are much larger than mine. And that's the case for everybody. So we want to make sure that we're being good stewards of what we have, whether it's money, food, whatever. And in order to do that, we have to look at, where is this money going, and do I want to redirect it in other places? So that's my TED Talk. Make sure you know where your money is going, and use expense tracking apps such as Intuit, QuickBooks Online that we use to make sure that you know what's going on in your business. We can help you with that. Our number is 801-692-0032. We serve clients throughout the United States, and we can help you start putting your stuff together into a financial tracking software, expense tracking software, so you can get rid of the shoebox, you can get rid of the piles, and you can have a streamlined, easy to use solution for your business that will help you save money in the long run. Thanks. And I am looking forward to helping you save money in your business moving forward.